Hey guys, today we got a 2023 Hyundai Genesis GV60, and we're gonna remove the front door panels on here. This is probably the first video that you're gonna see out on the internet right now, at least as of today. I couldn't find anything on there, so I want to bring this to you guys. I'm actually tinting the windows. They're very tight here on the side, so normally when that happens, I like to pull these lower seals so that I can actually slide the film and then slide it back so I don't crease it. The job's not very difficult, but you just got to be really careful. Okay, 3 screws in here. There's going to be a little cover here that doesn't look like much. There's a cover here, there's a screw here, there's a little access door here, and there's one right under here somewhere, right over here. And those you just pop them open with a little screwdriver, this one, and then just pull the little rubber piece here and take that screw out. That's the easy part. The hard part is that to get this off easy, you want to remove this speaker cover. Now it's very, very tight in here. I mean, you could probably pull on it. I don't recommend that. The way I found it the easiest was to actually pull this trim off a little bit and kind of push the clips from the back. And when it releases 1 or 2 clips, then you can actually kind of jiggle it out. Once you get it out of the way, it'll be easy to get this panel off and get it back on. You do want to unplug the tweeter and then set it aside and then just leave the cable up there, so then when you hook the panel back on, you're able to plug it in and then just snap everything back into place. We're not going to pull this whole trim off. We're just going to pull it off from a couple of little spots. And as you pull this rubber piece back, there you'll see them right there. All you need to do is get like a little piece of a plastic tool or even a thin screwdriver and get underneath it, and then just kind of pop it, and it'll just come off. But I'll bring you in and show you when we get to that point. So some of the tools we're going to need in here, you probably want to get some kind of a light or a headlamp so that you'd be able to see in there. Some kind of a Phillips head, because these are Phillips head screws, using a power drill. A thin screwdriver so that you can open up these little access doors and pull this little plastic here, or a pick tool if you have one. Some kind of door panel tool so that you can gently pop those open, and then a couple plastic tools so that you can get in here, so that you can get your tool in there. Same thing here, we're gonna need some plastic tools, or you can use the thin screwdriver up there, and maybe a thin hard card to be able to slide in here if you need it. Some of these tools you might not need. I kind of go back and forth when I use tools. So what I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring you in, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So we have 2 access doors in here that we need to get to. The first one is gonna be right here. So we're gonna go ahead and get our little screwdriver and just kind of open it up. And then it stays on there. And then get your little screwdriver or your power tool. Take that off. Set that aside. And then there's another access door right down here. Might have to get on the ground for this one. And then that one just kind of opens up. Like that. And the same thing, we're just going to take our little, take that off. This next one here is going to be right here where the handle is. There's a little rubber piece right here. Oops. Little rubber piece right here. Just kind of lift that up. Get it out the way. And then you'll see a screw right there. So we're going to go ahead and take that one off. So we went and pulled this little rubber piece off of here. And now we're going to go ahead and take that screw out of there. Get that off of there. Set that aside. Now our next step is to actually take this tweeter cover off. It's really wedged in there. This is the cover on the other side. I can show you right there. There's a clip there, and then it has these tiny little ones here. These are the ones you want to be careful with that you don't want to break, and this one over here. You don't want to break those, so that's why I recommend if we get behind here, we can actually kind of maybe push one clip, push maybe the second, and then we can kind of jiggle it out. That's what I did with the other side, because I can't really get in here, and I don't want to mar this up to try to get in here. It's real tight in there. Like, it's almost like sitting underneath this plastic here. So what I recommend is we're going to go ahead and just kind of pull back on this rubber piece here, and you're gonna see like almost like little tabs. So as we pull this rubber piece back, show you. There's one little tab here. I'm going to show you another one up here where you can actually see it because I can't get the camera in there. There's one right there. So all we want to do is we want to just kind of get underneath that and just pop it up a little bit, and it unclips. And then you just keep going up here, and then maybe take one more off right here. So we're going to take that one off. There's one around there, and then there's one over here. That one I can't really show you because I can't get my camera in there. So you can either use a thin screwdriver or a plastic tool. Okay. Get it like that. Get it nice and loose right there. I actually popped another one there, so that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right here's where the clip is, and I'm just going to try to push it. There it is. So I went like that, and I actually pushed the clip, and it came out. Perfect. You just have to kind of find the leverage to kind of push it. That way this comes out completely like that. And then all you do is just push the little tab and unplug it. And then now we're able to pull the rest of the door panel. So just gonna advise you real quick, just to be real careful when you do get the panel to hold on to it. Don't let it fall, because this piece right here wants to come off, which is basically the handle. So there's one handle here, and there's usually like one large harness, at least on the other side there was, that just gets unplugged, and then that's pretty much it. So the easiest thing is probably to start anywhere you could kind of get your fingers, which up here in the front would probably be our best bet. And you can either take like a card, a plastic tool to kind of get under there, to kind of wedge underneath. And if you could get your tool in there, if you can get your tool in here to pop it, that's fine. If not, just try to grab it and pull it softly. Just work your way down. Kind of hard to get my door panel tool in this area. See, I can't really get in here with this panel tool. Maybe with this one. So I'm just trying to go where I think there's a clip, and then just slowly make sure I'm pulling on it. There it goes. It's a little bit tight. And once you kind of get a couple of them off, then you can slowly just work your way if you just want to pull on them. Or take your door panel tool, just kind of get it where it feels real tight. Be real careful. And then just kind of work your way up. Just there. There it is. And so now we got it loose. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lift it up a little bit, and then we're going to unplug the, there's just like a little push thing that you got to pull on it to release it from there. So we're going to go ahead and lift it. So once we lift up the panel and we're ready to unplug it, you're going to have this cable right here for the handle. And then it comes right out. And then to put it back in, same thing, just line it up and then snap it into place. This side, I don't know why this side's green and the other side it looks white. Maybe they just use a different color plastic. And then right here you have the harness right here. You're just going to push down and then pull it out. And that's it. And then, like I said, I'm working on the window to do the tint on this car. So I'm just going to pull this rubber piece out of the way. This is the main piece we're trying to get to. And then that way I can get my film in there and I can slide it back in here. Normally on these, when I tint them, I like to do is I'll roll the window up and then I'll stick some wedges in here, kind of give myself a little bit of separation in there. And then when I'm ready to start, take it off, I clean the window and I get my film in there. Gives me just enough room to get in there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to put it back together. I've just tinted the window. The panel's just kind of hanging on here, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put my rubber piece back in. So the first thing we want to do is we want to install our window sweep, and we want to pull that side trim off a little bit so that we can slide that window sweep back in. And then next we're going to want to go ahead and plug in our harness. And then also go ahead and connect our cable for the handle. And then you want to make sure that that wiring for the tweeter is not tucked down. You want to make sure it's sticking up. And then next what we're going to want to do is we're going to hang the panel. Make sure it hooks onto that rubber piece on top. Push it all the way down so it's nice and snug. And then we're going to go ahead and on the sides we're just going to start pushing down on the panel so that the clips snap into place. Next, we want to go ahead and grab our tweeter. Now there's two ways to do this. You can either try to plug in the tweeter and snap it into place and then go ahead and snap the trim that goes around the door back into place. Or you can actually put that trim back into place first and then plug in the tweeter and then snap it into place. Right here, I believe I put the tweeter on first and then snap the trim back into place, but you can actually put the trim on first. It'll make it a little bit easier for the tweeter to go back on. Make sure to untuck the rubber piece that it doesn't get stuck behind the trim. Next, we're going to go ahead and I'm just wiping the panel down real quick. Next, what we're going to go ahead and we're going to install the screws that go behind those little tiny covers. And then go ahead and close that little cover up on top. And then next we're going to install the screw that goes where the handle is that you pull to close the door. Go ahead and put that screw in. And then get the plastic piece. And make sure you push all the way down on this plastic piece so that it sits nice and flush. Don't just lay it in there. Push it all the way down. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and put the screw on that bottom piece right there. Get under there, screw that into place, push that cover back on. And that pretty much does it.